The 10th edition of the Rubicon Great Zuurberg Trek 3-day mountain bike stage race is about to begin. Unfortunately, a delayed start on day one. 52 kilometers is probably going to be abbreviated to a shorter stage due to this heavy rain and very slick and muddy conditions. Riders are inside, keeping warm next to the fire ahead of what is going to be a real adventure on day one of the race.
Super wet, but it's nice. These conditions is one of our best because we are able to ride in the rain definitely. So we're looking forward to it. Nice rain, nice weather. Let's go, man.
That's all that was required, a positive outlook on a somewhat gloomy morning. Just under 200 riders had made the trip to the Eastern Cape for the 3 days of mountain biking around Addo, the Sundays River citrus orchards and the mighty Zuurberg range. The heavy overnight rains in the area had left sections of the planned 52-kilometre Stage 1 route inaccessible for bikes and vehicles. A later start and a 28-kilometre ride was thus the order of the day. Also, the stage was neutralised, so there'd be no timing, no racing and no winners. Just a fun ride for a couple of hours for the e-bikers and analogue riders, sloshing and splashing through the puddles and mud. At the bottom of the descent, they hit the valley road, a muddy couple of kilometres up to the first and only water point on the day's ride, where the spirits were pretty high.
Beautiful, it's dry, conditions couldn't be better, roads are hard, nice and grippy, loving it.
Choosing from the feast of good food and drink was difficult for some.
Come and ride the Great Zuurberg Trek. They said fun it would be. Shortened day, 28 k's. But yeah, looking at where we are now at 14, it's the toughest, going to be the toughest 28 I've done in my life.
The second half of the ride took them back onto the Zuurberg Pass. It's been in use for the last 175 years. It was the original ox wagon route to the interior from what was then known as Algoa Bay. It now forms the spine of the 3 days of riding that is the Rubicon Great Zuurberg Trek, with each day starting and finishing at the hotel at the top of the pass. The rain had relented as the morning wore on, allowing the riders a glimpse of the truly spectacular bush and mountainscapes in the area. After a few hours, they were back at the finish, more than satisfied at having got out on their bikes on the day.
Another day in paradise in Zuurberg.
It was wonderful. It's nice to be out and get wet and muddy like children.
Yeah, I learned two things today. One is it's possible to go slower downhill than uphill. And two is you can see your back wheel come past you on a straight line.
The afternoon was spent engaging with the event partners. Giant Liv Bicycles had a fleet at their superb e-bike range to test under the expert guidance of Ollie Munich. Victoria Tyres, makers of the legendary Cape Cobra, had the airliner challenge. The fastest man and woman to insert an airliner into a tyre won some airliners. The competition was fierce. And of course, clothing partner Enjoy had a full range of event-specific clothing on offer. Others were content to rehydrate thanks to Darling Breweries. More rain overnight before a dry dawn heralded stage 2 of the Rubicon Great Zuurberg Trek. Aside from the top of the range rooms, riders also had the option of luxury tent glamping style accommodation in the hotel grounds. Stage 2 was the Queen stage. 58 kilometres and 1,200 metres of climbing awaited the excited riders as they lined up at the start.
No, we're feeling good. Andrew here from Springwell. I'm his partner. I'm like a fish on land, so pick my partner as well.
We had a fantastic day yesterday despite the rain. Loved the mud, a bit of slipping and sliding, a couple of brake pads dealt with here. And I'm hoping Michelle's not going to hurt me too much today. Looking forward to the single track.
Exara mascot Sipho Kumalo set the vibe. And then they were away. After the neutral day one, it was full gas from the off on day 2. E-bike tour set off an hour after the analogue races. It was a frenetic first 10 kilometres along the Paddle-strewn pass. 3 teams soon emerged as the strongest: Exara's Sian Tsele and Gilbert Mataba, Sydney Stradum and Ray Mumon of Cyclopro RA Cycles, and the Farm Boys, locals Stu Murray and Roger Mortlock. The day's undoubted highlight was the legendary Seven Dwarfs Trail, a wild single-track descent from the top of the pass all the way down on the edge of the mountain to the Vitrafir at the base. It's a thrilling ride. The trail is narrow and at times has a precipitous drop on the right-hand side, hence the guardrails. The river trail is truly beautiful. William Majapolo chasing hard after a puncture. Straightem and Mulman going well. This area evidence of just what stunning riding there is in this Addo area. But there was a tax to pay for the early fun. The toughest climb of the day took them out of the valley. Monty's climb was a muddy and slippery ride. It was steep as well and made for slow going all the way to the first water point at the top.
I think the Seven Dwarfs were the highlight for sure. I'm pretty stoked about that. In fact, I had two not slow guys in front of me that saved my life. Because had they not been in front of me, my enthusiasm would have totally outweighed my skill and I would have definitely have become an eighth dwarf somewhere on the route.
Michelle Lombardi and Nikki Biersevo were leading the women's race. The spectacular terrain and beautiful views were a reward for the shortened first day as they made their way on day 2 towards the citrus orchards. The farm roads had been reduced to slippery clay-like mud. It stuck like toffee to the wheels and drivetrains. Finding a clean line often meant leaving the road. The second water point became a bike wash as riders did their best to clean their beloved steeds of the mud.
I'm trying to clean my bike, but it's not really working that well.
No easy task trying to separate toffee from the wrapper, is it?
Oh, I'm loving this mud.
Beautiful day, nice easy roads, trails to ride on. It's nice when it's slippery, adds a little bit of excitement.
But once up and riding, it was smooth all the way. Nalina Lowe and Calvin Burtis from Somerset West were shooting for home. And for the riders, one final effort was required to conquer the 9-kilometer climb up the Zuurberg Pass to the finish.
We found all 7 dwarfs and then a couple of turns through, I think it's the Clipperveer. Awesome through the Sandbox area. It's what we're here for, to enjoy it out in nature.
Rubicon had produced the power at the water point. The Squirt Lube team were working overtime. Second women's team Fiona Austin and Commie Klaassen clearly enjoyed their day out. But make no mistake, it was a tough day on the bike. Bikes were weighed down by the mud, drivetrains grinding irritatingly. So it was with a small degree of relief and a large dose of satisfaction that the riders rolled over the finish line at the Zuurberg Hotel. Sorgo organic orange juice was the drink of choice after a superb morning's riding.
The atmosphere out there today with these kind of weather conditions, it makes it a bit ominous, a bit mystical almost. It was, super special. We just had the most phenomenal time here. Well looked after in the race villages, and apparently day 3 is the best of the lot, so can only go up from here.
A restorative massage gave tired legs and bodies a much needed soothing revival. Then it was time to really chill with a Montague snack. A chat and a chew about the day's ride. And a drink. While others showed their skills at the pool table. Such is the camaraderie at the Great Zuurberg Trek. There was fun and laughter in the evening with stories from the trails and great giveaways from the sponsors. The food, of course, always next level at the GZT thanks to the attentive staff at the Zuurberg Mounted Village. All part of the ultra-relaxed vibe at the Rubicon Great Zuurberg Trek.
And we're happy the sun is shining today, and hopefully lots of single track.
Lots and lots of single track.
Yeah, today we don't have to do risks. Like, we have a comfortable lead, but not to relax in a way. We just watch the guys and we're expecting them to attack us, but we'll just keep it nice and safe.
A short, sharp 50 Ks was on the menu as they charged away at high speed. Nsele and Mataba had a comfortable 6-minute lead after their win on day 2. Sadly, Stuart Murray and Roger Mortlock's hopes were crushed by a major mechanical that they couldn't repair ahead of the stage. But this gave Sydney Stradom and Ray Mulman the chance to move up on the standings. In the women's race, Michelle Lombardi and Nikki Biersevel had nearly 25 minutes in hand over the Roller Motor Group's pair of Klaassen and Austin. Stradom led Mulman as the young pair attacked early on. The steel bridge links them into the forested section of trail. For once, the riders were thankful for the rain. It had done them a real favour. The track was firm and tacky, perfect for great mountain biking. After nearly 15 kilometres of serious fun riding down the trail, they popped out onto the road and the first water point.
Listen, you need a machete to carve this flippin' smile off my face, but that was so much fun. Yes, I can't wait to do more.
And more there certainly was, with a mazy network of trails knitted together to give the riders more thrills. And more than a few short, sharp climbs as well, as Fjord Jordan and Liam Graham found out. Charisse and Grafton Houston were ticking off the kilometres. It was a real roller coaster. The short, sharp ups were rewarded with insane downs. Rubicon boss Greg Blanford was loving his ride on his Giant Stance e-bike. The muddied roads of a day earlier were now history. The tracks were firm and fast. William Majapolo and Obvious Korombi had found their legs on the final day. The trails are exceptional and a tribute to the hard work of Trevor and Rob Hayter of Hayterdale Trails and the founders of the Rubicon Great Zuurberg Trek. The event also supports the Sundays River Citrus Co-op Foundation, which is involved in a number of community development programs amongst the youth in this area.
Brilliant, absolutely amazing. Single track is brilliant.
Yeah, we are having such fun, such a blast on the trails. Thanks to Trevor and Rob and his team and Mountain Events, we're having a fantastic time. And the weather order today worked.
Cholofelo Nkosi and Bontle Pepisa were third in the women's race. Andrea van Holt giving school friend Mary Jane Talbot a gentle push. Up front, Sydney Stradom and Ray Mulman had Nsele and Mataba on their wheels. And it was the Xaro pair who ultimately took the overall win ahead of the Cyclopro RA Cycles team and Majapolo and Korombi in third.
Starting with the training camp a few days before the race. So, yeah, we learned a lot in this weekend.
Today was absolutely fantastic. Trails, single tracks that went on forever and ever and ever. Unfortunately, we didn't get to ride the single tracks the first day and the second day, but today made up for it, more than made up for it. We had an absolute blast out there.
That was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Trails were magnificent. The views were unbelievable. Weather was amazing.
Thank you.